When my parents decided to put me in a mental hospital, my cousin Rachel was having a big violin concert. My boyfriend Tom and my little brother Sam were there in the audience, clapping and cheering for her. That should have been me up on that stage. The violin was supposed to be my present for my 12th birthday. Rachel and I never really got along. It didn't matter if I was right or wrong. My parents always took Rachel's side. She'd just cry a little and they'd automatically blame me, but I'm their real daughter. I only figured out the truth when I was about to die. If I had another chance, I wouldn't fight with Rachel over love that was already so unfair. I opened my eyes and suddenly I was 11 years old again. It was the day Rachel decided she wanted to change her name to fit in better with our family. Rachel was my uncle's daughter. When my uncle and aunt died in a car accident, they left Rachel behind and she was often sick. Dad and my uncle were close brothers, so he couldn't leave Rachel all alone. He adopted her and brought her to live with us. Rachel snuggled up to Mom, talking about her dreams. "They never gave me a real name before," she said. "I want to be a part of this family." Mom lovingly stroked her hair. "Of course," she said. "You can be Rachel, okay?" I stood on the stairs watching this happy scene, but I wasn't feeling happy at all. I felt cold inside. That is, until Dad saw me. He frowned, looking worried, like he thought I was going to do something mean to Rachel. "Anna," he said, "don't start any trouble. From now on, Rachel is your sister. She's not well. You have to be nice to her and let her have her way. Don't bully her, okay?" Hearing the same words from before made my heart sink. Rachel isn't well. The older sister has to give in to the younger one. I'd heard those words so many times before. After Rachel came to live with us, most of the love that should have been mine was given to her instead. Just because she was an orphan with health problems, I had to put up with her. In the end, even the little bit of love I had left was also given to her, but I was only 2 months older than Rachel, and she was just my cousin. Why did Mom and Dad treat her like their own daughter? Was it because she cried so easily? I clearly remember Mom's disgusted look the last time she saw me. She said, "Anna, you're so spoiled. You can't even leave Rachel alone." Had she forgotten? Since Rachel arrived, she never spoiled me again. I'm her real daughter. My eyes moved downstairs as Mom tried to make me feel better. "Anna," she said, "even with Rachel here, Mom still loves you the most." I saw something strange in Rachel's eyes, something old. If I hadn't lived through this before, I would have missed it. But then she blinked, and in front of my parents, she pouted. "Sister," she said, "don't you like me?" I ignored her and tried to walk away. Mom tried to call me back, but Dad stopped her. "Forget it," he said. "Don't bother with her. She's already spoiled. If she were half as good as Rachel, I'd be happy." My hand tightened on the railing of the stairs, but then I calmly went back to my room. I might have decided to give up on their love as soon as I woke up, but my dad's words still hurt a lot. Other than eating and going to the bathroom, I hardly left my room. I didn't want to see Rachel's fake acting. Plus, I wanted to study hard so I could get into a really good university. Once I was in college, I could leave this house and stop being in the way of their closeness with Rachel. While I was studying, there was a knock on the door. I heard Rachel's shy voice. "Sister," she said, "Mom cut up some watermelon. I brought you 2 pieces." I didn't have time for her games, so I kept reading. After a while, Rachel's voice came again, this time sounding like she was crying. "Mom," she said, "does sister not like me? I just want to spend time with her, but she ignores me. Is it because she thinks I took Mom and Dad away from her? Maybe I should go back to the orphanage. Then she'd like me." Mom comforted her. "Of course not," she said. "Anna's just spoiled. I'll make her play with you soon." Sam chimed in too. "I like Rachel," he said. "Not like sister who's mean." I opened my door and said coldly, "All right, I understand. You two have the best relationship. But don't hang around my door, it's noisy." Rachel stepped forward a little, looking like she wanted to be close to me but was too scared. "Sister," she said, "would you play with me if I went back to the orphanage? I'll pack my bags right now." Sam quickly blocked her. "Sister's the bad one," he said. "I like Rachel, not her. She can leave." Mom didn't tell Sam off. Instead, she looked at me. "Anna," she said, "you're being so difficult. Learn from Rachel. Even though she's younger, she behaves much better. My hand tightened around the door handle. If she's better behaved and kinder, I said, let her be your daughter. Oh, wait, she already is your daughter. Dad stormed up the stairs, scolding me. Anna, he said, you're way out of line. Rachel is family now. As the older sister, how can you not take care of her? Look at your brother behaving better. Apologize to Rachel right now. Facing Dad, Mom, Sam, and Rachel, it felt like they were the real family and I was just some outsider. It was so ridiculous. My parents didn't take my side. They yelled at me for one thing I said. Even my own brother stood by Rachel. I noticed Rachel's little smirk. Ignoring Dad's endless scolding, I slammed the door shut, not caring about his demands that I apologize to Rachel. Once I was behind the door, I calmed myself down, but I could still hear bits of their comforting voices meant for Rachel. Nothing had changed from my past life to this one. Even trying to get their attention, my parents saw me as the bully, no matter what I did. Just a few tears and her mistakes became mine. How ridiculous. My birthday was coming up soon. Dad gave me my birthday present, a violin I'd wanted for a long time. It was a bit expensive for our family, so Mom and Dad kept delaying it. Mom smiled and nodded for me to open it. I took the violin out, not showing any emotion, but I noticed the flash of jealousy in Rachel's eyes. Dad took the chance to speak to me seriously. Anna, he said, we haven't forgotten about you. We still love you. Mom gently patted my head. See, Anna, she said, we even got you the violin you wanted, even though it was hard. We've just been taking care of Rachel more because she's not doing well. You should be more understanding now and take care of Rachel. Be a good example for your little brother, okay? Before I could answer, Rachel exclaimed, grabbing everyone's attention. With everyone looking at her, she apologized, covering her mouth, with jealousy in her eyes. Mom and Dad treat sis so well, she said. I've never even seen a violin before. I've only seen it on TV, and I'm so jealous of them. No one ever got me one. They always say it's a waste of money for girls to learn this. I really envy sis. Rachel's sad look made Mom and Dad feel sorry for her. Just like in my previous life, Mom took the violin and handed it to Rachel. Dad also said the exact same words from before. Since your sister's saying this, Anna, be generous and let Rachel have the violin. Rachel held the violin, her voice soft. Really, sis? She asked. Before I could agree, Mom decided right then and there. Why not? She said. Rachel's also part of our family. In my past life, Rachel managed to take my violin this way. Mom and Dad told me to let her have it, promising me a better gift later. But I didn't let it go, arguing with Rachel, and in turn, I got scolded terribly, even losing my allowance. Why should her fake size cost me my gift? Don't I deserve to have what I want? I lifted my head and asked the question that had been bothering me for so long. Why do I have to give my birthday gift to her? Can't we just get her another one? They didn't have any sudden realization. They just scolded me instead. The violin was expensive, and we can't afford another one. Can't you and Rachel just share it? How did you become so selfish? Rachel's been through a lot. You should be kind to her as the older sister. I looked at them for a few seconds, then nodded slowly. I understand, I said. Then I turned and went upstairs. Behind me, I heard Mom calling and Dad complaining. Look at her, he said. What kind of attitude is that? So young, already throwing tantrums. Truly, you don't know how much things cost until you're the one paying for it. At the corner, I saw Sam bringing a gift to Rachel. Rachel, happy birthday, he said. But today was my birthday, and 2 months later, when it was Rachel's birthday, the same parents who claimed we couldn't afford much went all out. Just because Rachel pouted and wanted to invite her whole class, they booked a hotel for her birthday party. I heard there was even a 5-layer cake. As for me, just like before, I was told to stay home, supposedly because I might throw a fit and embarrass Rachel in front of her friends. As they left, Rachel was wearing a princess dress, with a crown on her head, surrounded by Mom, Dad, and Sam, all heading to the hotel, laughing and talking. And their real daughter? Couldn't even get a piece of cake, left at home, supposedly to avoid trouble, eating cold leftovers. I didn't complain or throw a fit. I just sat quietly in my room, reading, getting ready to leave this home one day. The midterm results came in, and I got the highest score. The school also called for a parent teacher meeting. When I got home, Rachel was crying. Mom, she said, I'm so stupid. Even my sister did great and got first place. Do you think I'm dumb? Do you still like me? Sam clumsily patted her back. I like Sis more than Anna, he said. Dad comforted her. Don't be too sad, he said. Anna just got lucky. She doesn't usually study. Rachel, don't follow her example. Mom agreed. Yes, Rachel, you're doing fine. Don't wear yourself out studying so much. Your health can't handle it. They pride themselves on being fair, but they chose to say bad things about me just to make Rachel happy. If they weren't my parents, I'd be impressed by their constant favoritism. I stood at the door with a mocking smile on my lips. Rachel wiped her tears, shyly asking, Will you send me back to the orphanage? Rachel's scared, doesn't want to leave Mom and Dad. Mom hugged her tenderly. Of course not, she said. Rachel will always be family, and really, it's not all about grades. You don't have to push yourself, Rachel. I'll take care of you. Me too, sis. Sam's innocent promise filled the room with laughter. Rachel shyly looked up with hopeful eyes. Will you come to my parent meeting? She asked. Of course, we'll both go, Dad assured her. Only then did Rachel seem to notice me, calling softly, Sis. The room suddenly felt cold. I acted like I didn't hear it, walking into the living room. There's a parent meeting at school, I said. Who's going? Dad suddenly lashed out. Since when did you become so rude, not even greeting your parents? He asked. I couldn't understand why he was mad. Mom stopped him, apologizing to me. Anna, she said, your dad and I are going to Rachel's parent meeting. As for yours, I cut her off, looking up to ask, does her meeting need 2 people? Why are you being so difficult? Rachel's not well and needs someone to look after her. As her older sister, you should be more understanding, not arguing over things like this. Even though I knew the outcome would be the same as before, I still held on to a little bit of hope. It was just fooling myself. I turned around and went back to my room, ignoring the yelling behind me. My heart just grew colder. My 13th birthday came around. When I got back home from school, the house was empty and lonely. Just as I pulled out my phone, my mom's call popped up. On the other end, it was noisy, sounding like a bunch of kids. Anna, she said, we have to take care of you and Rachel this year. Rachel's health isn't good, and with all the hospital visits, money is tight. No birthday gift for you this time. I sent you some money on WeChat. Remember to use it to buy yourself a meal. I could hear Rachel calling for Mom in the distance. Before I could say anything, she quickly hung up. I slid my phone screen and saw the WeChat money transfer Mom sent. I gave a little smirk and didn't accept it. Anyway, it's probably not more than $200, not much to accept. It's a relief, though, that I'm not really a 13-year-old kid. Being home alone overnight would have been scary. But just when I had made some instant noodles and grabbed my phone to do some practice problems, I happened to see Rachel's social media post, and I'd forgotten about this little detail. Last time, my birthday was just like today. Because Rachel was jealous that a classmate went to Disneyland, our parents immediately bought tickets and took her without a second thought. Later, Mom remembered it was my birthday and sent me $200. I thought they were working late, so I didn't pay much attention. I sat on the couch waiting for them to come back, but when I saw how excited they were, I couldn't help getting angry. Rachel cried, and I was made to apologize to her by Dad. Coming back to the present, I opened her social media post. Rachel was wearing a snow-white dress and posing with a big peace sign. There was also a family photo at the Disneyland entrance. Yeah, their family of 4, without me. They all looked incredibly happy. They even had a big meal inside Disneyland. They said we didn't have money, so they only sent me a $200 transfer, yet they took Rachel to Disneyland on my birthday. Twice in a row. Suddenly, I felt disgusted. Time flew by and I got into a good high school, finally getting away from Rachel. She couldn't pass the entrance exams. After starting high school, I applied to live in the dorms and didn't go back home even on holidays. I just handed out flyers to earn some pocket money. But when summer break came, I had no excuses to stay away, so I packed my bags. It seemed like after being away for half a year, they had grown even closer as a family, more than with me, their actual daughter. When I got home, the living room was empty, but I didn't mind, heading straight upstairs with my suitcase. Just before reaching my room, I heard beautiful piano music and my parents' praises. I wasn't going to bother, but as I got closer to my room, I realized the sound was coming from there. I grabbed the door handle and yanked it open. Inside, the four of them turned in surprise to look at me. I looked around and found all my belongings had been cleared out. Even my bed was gone. In the room's center stood an expensive piano, something I'd only seen on TV, worth a lot more than the violin I got at 12. Rachel, in a white dress, was sitting at the piano, her hands still on the keys. My room had become Rachel's piano room. This didn't happen in my last life. Maybe because I didn't fight back this time, it made them bolder. I grasped the door handle tightly, holding back anger in my eyes, but my tone remained calm. "Where do I live?" I asked. Before my parents could answer, Sam spoke in a mean tone. "Anna, you haven't been home for 6 months. We thought you planned to live somewhere else. Don't blame Mom and Dad. You're distant and rarely home. So Rachel's big piano couldn't fit in the guest room. We had no choice." Before I could respond, Rachel started sobbing. "Sis," she said, "it's all my fault. I just wanted to play the piano so badly for us to get along. Sis hasn't been home for half a year and probably misses Mom and Dad. If Sis minds, I can leave. After all, I should be independent at my age." Saying this, she coughed hard and swayed as if she was about to faint. Sam was quick to support her, yelling at me. "Anna, must you disrupt the family? The moment you're back, you upset Rachel. You're really bad luck. No one's comfortable with you. Here. Rachel doesn't owe you anything. In fact, she's spoken well of you. Yet you come in ready to kick her out. Are you even human?" Facing their accusations, I suddenly found it all pointless. Whether it was the past or the present, they always sided with Rachel, their niece, not me, their daughter. Amid Sam's loud accusations, I watched him spit angrily. I was done holding back. Stepping forward, I slapped Sam hard. His head turned with the impact, filled with disbelief. My parents froze for a moment, but Rachel's cries snapped them back. Mom rushed to hold Sam, heartbroken, and said to me, "Anna, you've deeply disappointed Mom. You've changed for the worse, hitting your brother." Dad was also furious, pointing at me. "You're proving him right. You stir up chaos at home. Being away has made you senseless, disrespectful, even violent to your brother. You need discipline. No more pocket money for you. It's all going to him." Sam covered his face and angrily said, "Give it all to Rachel. Don't leave even a penny for her." I chuckled and shot back without hesitation. "Don't forget, besides giving me a few $1,000s for tuition when school started, when have you ever given me allowance? I pay for my own room and board with my New Year's money. When have you ever cared if I have enough?" Mom and Dad were at a loss for words. Mom looked like she wanted to come closer, but Rachel immediately coughed a few times, tears in her eyes, and weakly said, "I'm sorry, sister. It's all my fault for wanting Mom and Dad's attention so much. Don't worry, I'll leave soon. I'm already grateful for spending these years with them." Saying this, she started to get up, and everyone gathered around her, comforting and reassuring her that she was a part of the family. Seeing Rachel's smug smile, I turned and headed to the guest room on the first floor with my suitcase. The next day, I came out of the room around noon. Rachel specifically invited me to try her cooking, as a way of apologizing. In the previous life, she did the same thing on my birthday. She insisted no one help her and wrapped dumplings alone in the kitchen. There were shrimp in the dumplings, and back then, people thought I was falsely accusing Rachel of being intentional when I had an allergic reaction. Even Sam pointed at me and said, "You're allergic to seafood. Can't you smell it? Rachel didn't know, and I think you ate it on purpose just to slander her." In this life, I looked at the shrimp shells in the trash and smirked. Just like before, Rachel came to me looking pitiful with a plate of dumplings. "Sister," she said, "it was all my fault yesterday. These dumplings are my apology. You haven't tried them before, have you? Mom and Dad say they're good." Mom chimed in, "Yes, Anna, give them a try. Don't waste Rachel's kindness." They seemed to think that if I ate the dumplings, there would be no more tension between Rachel and me, and I would become the person they wanted me to be. Unfortunately for them, they were in for a disappointment. As I hesitated to pick up my chopsticks, Rachel's eyes filled with tears. Anna, don't be so ungrateful, Sam yelled. I ignored Sam's angry outburst and quietly looked at Mom. Mom, I said, do you smell it? That strong seafood smell? Mom looked puzzled, so I took a pair of chopsticks, broke a dumpling, and revealed a shrimp inside. I'm allergic to seafood, I said. Did you forget? The room went silent. Even Sam, who usually defended Rachel, was quiet. When I was 6, we visited my uncle's place, and their table was full of shrimp and crab. Back then, I was the apple of their eye, and Mom had asked my aunt to cook separate dishes for me. But my aunt didn't take allergies seriously and forced me to eat. Young and shy, I obliged, resulting in vomiting and rashes, landing me in the ER. At the time, Sam mistakenly thought our aunt had poisoned me and pushed her in anger. I remember Rachel being there too. Now they've forgotten. Their focus entirely on Rachel. In the past that there wasn't a trace of seafood in the house, yet now they ignore the heavy seafood smell. My prodding made Mom and Dad a bit uncomfortable. Rachel began to cry, looking pitiful. I'm sorry, sister, she said. I didn't know. Sorry, I guess I'm not fit to stay in this house. She stumbled toward the door, causing a shift in the room's awkwardness as everyone rushed to comfort her. It's okay, Rachel, you didn't mean it. Yeah, Rachel, it's no big deal. She didn't eat it, right? Anna, come on, just comfort Rachel. As the victim, I was supposed to comfort the perpetrator? It was absurd. I ignored the drama and walked away. Soon after, I aced my finals. Scoring 738, I became the province's top science student and got into the best university. For once, Mom and Dad were proudly talking about me. They even threw a celebratory party, leaving Rachel in the background. During the party, just as they were happily entertaining guests, Sam rushed in, anxiously carrying an unconscious Rachel towards the door. Mom and Dad dropped everything to follow, leaving the guests confused. Living a second life has taught me a lot about Rachel. Luckily, I'm no longer the naive girl I once was and managed to handle the guests well. Ben's mom was particularly keen. She had me engaged to Ben since childhood, and he always looked out for me while growing up. He once cried and promised to marry me when he got older. With a forced smile, I turned to her. Auntie, I said, I need to visit Rachel at the hospital. Being in finance at university could help Ben in some ways. To build a bond, she agreed to accompany me. At the hospital, there was a crowd around Rachel's bed. She leaned weakly on Ben. Mom and Dad, she said, sorry to worry you, it's just low blood sugar. I'm fine, go back and stay with Anna. I don't want her to misunderstand me. Finishing her words, she let out another cough. Anna's grown up and can look after herself. But you're still our worry. Mom's tone was full of warmth and affection. Auntie, I've got this. Ben gazed at Rachel with such tenderness that Rachel blushed. Mom seemed to forget Ben was my fiancé. Instead, she wore a knowing smile. These two look perfect together, she said. Ben held Rachel close, ignoring the fact that our parents were right there. He brushed his lips softly against her forehead. And that's when Ben's mom and I walked in. Ben's mom's eyes went wide as she gasped, Ben, what are you doing? In a past life, I didn't even get into a second-tier college. Now I study finance at a prestigious university, while Rachel is only in a vocational school. Last time, neither Rachel nor I accomplished much, so it didn't matter to Ben's mom who he chose to marry. Ben saw me unchanged, unfazed. He pointed at me, defiantly saying, Mom, I don't like Anna. I want to break off the engagement. I want to marry Rachel. He stood right in front of me, the boy who chased off bullies for me, who had once cried while holding my hand saying he'd marry me, was nowhere to be found. The look on his face now matched the arrogant jerk from my past, someone I absolutely despised. Anna, I'd never like a toxic woman like you, Ben declared. I only love Rachel. If you ever bully her, you're in for it. Ben's mom scolded him. What nonsense! When you were little, you said you'd marry Anna. Ben huffed. I must have been blind as a kid. Funny, so was I. Ben's mom struggled to cover his mouth, embarrassed, avoiding my eyes as she half-dragged him away. Suddenly, it was just me, my parents, Rachel, and Sam in the room. Even after 2 lifetimes, I needed to ask, did you know about Rachel's affair with Ben all along? Mom's face showed a hint of guilt. Anna, why are you being harsh? What do you mean by affair? Ben doesn't love you anyway. He loves Rachel. Why not just give her the engagement? Sam butted in. Anna, Ben said things were different when you were kids. He won't ever love you, only Rachel. So, why don't you just be sensible and let go of the engagement? It'll be better for everyone. Otherwise, it'll just be embarrassing for you. I looked at my brother, who had always sided with Rachel through both lifetimes. Memories flooded back. When he ruined Dad's goldfish and I took the blame, losing my allowance for weeks. Or when I found him drenched after he wandered off from preschool and brought him home while our parents were busy. Or when I was 8, clinging to him to stop kidnappers getting kicked for it. There was the time I lay in the hospital with a seafood allergy and he cried, "Sister, I'll protect you." But now he was someone else. I tilted my head back, forcing back tears. I'll let Rachel have the engagement, but you need to promise me 2 things. Rachel's eyes widened slightly. Sister, are you serious? She asked. I ignored her and turned to my parents. Dad nodded, somewhat relieved. Anna, you're grown up now. You're finally showing responsibility. Rachel's family now, too. It's great you're not overreacting. I forced a smile. First, transfer my legal residence. Second, cut ties with me. From now on, we're not family. Mom was stunned, disbelief across her face. Anna, do you even know what you're saying? Over something like this, really? What are you trying to pull now? Rachel's not well. As her sister, you should care for her. Now you're threatening us? Anna, you've really let us down. I felt nauseous. No reason to spare their feelings at this point. Am I overreacting? When have I ever overreacted? When you changed her name to ours and called her your daughter, did I overreact? No, right? I just didn't favor her. Isn't that normal? I didn't hit or curse at her. Just didn't kiss up like you did. And that's overreacting? It's my first time seeing parents treat their own daughter like an outsider, but cherish their niece. I mean, you did owe her dad 10 grand, didn't you? Her mom nearly killed me with that allergy, yet you treat their daughter like a princess. So our money's for them, huh? I pleaded a whole year for a violin. You wouldn't buy it. Finally, you got it for my birthday. But she cried a bit and you gifted it away. It was my present, right? My birthday. Her present. Her birthday? Hotel parties, cake, while your daughter dined alone at home. At school functions, there are 2 of you. Yet you only ever support her, making me the only kid with absent parents. You don't know my high school. Didn't give me allowance. Sent a mere $200 for my birthday, but treated her to Disneyland, even turning my room into her piano room. Oh, and a piano isn't cheap, is it? The money you've spent on me probably doesn't match her piano's value. Remember when I had that allergy attack at dinner? Seafood dumplings. She was there, yet you went ahead and served them. Care to hear more? Is ignoring the issue your thing? Dream on if you think I'll let you off easy. For a moment, I wondered if we were swapped at birth, if Rachel's your real daughter. Mom's face tightened, denying fiercely. No, Anna, you're our daughter. We love you. I carried you for 9 months. How could we not love you? I cut her off coldly. If I'd known I was going to be born into a family with no sense of ethics, I'd have rather died in your womb. Mom stopped sobbing, looking totally shocked. Dad's face went gray, and even the usually bossy Sam stayed quiet. I couldn't be bothered to lecture him. I gave up on the engagement, and 3 days later, I hoped to get the newest household registration. Once I get that scholarship money, I'll send it to your account as payment for all these years you guys raised me. Seeing Dad about to say something, I just smiled. If you want to be my enemies, that's fine too. He shut his mouth, looking gloomy. I didn't spare them another glance and left the hospital room. 2 days later, the new household registration arrived with only my name on it. I was finally free. Looking at the bustling streets, I cracked my first real smile in what felt like 2 lifetimes. On Rachel and Ben's wedding day, I heard no family showed up. I didn't care. I just had someone at the wedding spread the truth about Ben being an illegitimate child. Ben lost face big time at the wedding, and Rachel got her share of humiliation. His parents became a joke in their circle. I heard Ben's job at the company wasn't secure anymore. Less than a year after Rachel married Ben, she got sick. Ben wasn't there for her and was looking for a second marriage instead. Apparently, Ben needed to marry for status, leaving Rachel to die alone. I visited Rachel one last time. She lay there on the hospital bed, pale and near death. "Anna," she said, "are you pleased with yourself? Mom and Dad, even Sam, don't want me. Now Ben wants me dead too." Rachel struggled to talk but still looked at me with that same viciousness. She never changed. "Anna, how can you be happier than me? Do you know how jealous I was when your mom told my mom to cook again because you couldn't eat seafood?" I didn't say much. "You deserve it." At the door, I paused, smiling. "Don't worry, Ben will join you soon enough." Not 2 days later, I heard Rachel died and Ben got his wish, marrying an heiress from some real estate family. The next time I saw Ben was at his office building. After I graduated, I joined the tax department, and we were there to investigate his family's business. After a thorough check, we confirmed the group was involved in tax evasion and even suspected illegal deals. His family pinned it all on Ben. In the end, their entire assets were seized, and Ben got the worst of it, landing in jail. I heard he wanted to see me. I didn't agree. No one's bothering me now. I'm living comfortably, so why meet a loser?